All right, happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Citizen Council live stream. Chris Castleman, waiting for my co-host to come on. And I got to pause the music. I forgot to do that last time. We got Perry. How's it going, Perry?
It's going pretty good.
And Brandi.
Hi, guys.
Everybody's here. How's your week been, everybody?
Fab. Well, it's been shitty, but I'm going to say it's fabulous because the shitty just is all just me being cranky. It's been fine.
All right. Have you been signature collecting still?
I've slowed down on it. I'm preparing to have a surgery, like kind of a major surgery, and I'm not thrilled about it. I don't like that kind of stuff, and so that's why I've been cranky. But I haven't been out doing a bunch of signature collection. Rob and Marty have really been heading it up. They were going to be in Bandon again this evening if weather allowed, and I'm not sure if they're out there right now. We should try to get them to come on and pop on and bring them on for a minute if they're out there.
Well, that's funny. I'll message them right now. Perry, how's it been? We missed you last week. You didn't make it home from work in time.
No. Been busy.
Did you see? I don't even think I've caught up with you. Did you see the video I had of the guy from the hotel? Did I even talk to you about that?
I haven't even watched it. No.
I gotta follow up with you after this about that. That was crazy.
Fill us in. What the heck happened?
Well, it was the one from last week where I showed the video of the guy at the hotel. He broke into the room. You don't remember this?
No, and that was it. That's all that happened.
Yeah, he broke into the room, and then I had the video of me asking him, hey, let's go to the front desk and talk. And then he ran off, and then cops found him later, but they didn't do anything.
So what was going on with the alleged strangling?
Oh, that was this weekend at the.
Okay. Yeah, so that's what I was thinking about.
Oh, no. I'm talking about the video from last Wednesday. It was like it happened an hour or two before we went live. And if people are interested, they can watch the show. I think it was like halfway through, maybe half hour in. I talk about it. But no, I was staying at a hotel, and right before I checked in, the girl ahead of me, she goes to go to her room, and I was like, looked like something weird. This guy was just being really weird walking outside her door. And it turns out he had broken into her room, used her shower and everything, and had just left right before she got into the room. And I went, and so then manager came over and verified that guy had no business being on the property or in the room. And so then I went over to talk to him to get him to come to the front desk, and he ran off. So they said they've never seen him before. But Perry, what do you got for us? You had didn't you just have something today? Something with someone dumping trash by a swing?
I just stopped at a random spot on 42 today and got out, and there were 2 tarps laid out with garbage all over them. Just somebody dumped garbage, and so I grabbed a stick and started fiddling through it, and found a name and an address on it. Turned it into the police. I don't know what they did with it, but hopefully something will happen with it. It's right there where a swimming hole is, and dirty diapers and all that right there on the river.
You said along 42?
Yep.
Do you remember a year or so ago, maybe 2 years ago, I had found garbage, and like there was even like a divorce paperwork and stuff in there. So I got their address, and I went to their house, and it ended up being their daughter. They had paid their daughter like $100 to go to the dump, like go take garbage to the dump. And instead of going to the dump, she took the $100, pocketed it, and then dumped the garbage in my neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of awkward because like I collected all the garbage and put it on their front yard when I went to talk to them. And luckily it ended up being like someone from the family, because that would have sucked if it, like, let's say they had paid someone completely different to do that, like just someone off Craigslist, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would have felt pretty shitty and had to pick up all their stuff. But like, I mean, it was their daughter, and they were pretty mad. They were like yelling at her, and the daughter was like totally denying it. She's like, "Oh, I totally went to the dump." I'm like, "So you're telling me you went to the dump? Someone picked your garbage out of the dump and your garbage alone, put it in what, their car, and then drove it to my neighborhood for what?" And they insisted. It was someone my age and her and her boyfriend, and they were, man, they're, anyways. So hopefully that's not the case with you, but people do. I've heard of that like they'll pay somebody and they take the money and then go dump it. So but people also dump their own garbage for sure. So
it's also blowing up online. So whatever happened, it'll come out.
Yeah. Well, it's I encourage anybody, if you see garbage like that, if you're willing, go through it at least a little bit. Like if it's a package, like a box, like a lot of times, like it's an Amazon box, that's their address right there. But again, just always be careful that like it might not be their box. Like, right. Like if I'm at a yard sale and I sell something and take the box with you, it's like all of a sudden if they toss it later, my name's on it. So
yeah. And this guy's
anyways
Facebook profile is a little suspicious too. So
tweaker-esque.
It's leaning towards possibly him.
Okay. Very good. Here Bill says he's been told by law enforcement that unless they are caught physically in the act, there's nothing that can be done. But yeah, I give the person the benefit of the doubt. But like if it really is them, like if they're denying it, if they're like, no, that's not my garbage, it's like I would give it back to them. Is what I would suggest. And yeah, that's crazy though. But I mean, like, I sort of get it, but like, what if there's an assault? Like if they weren't physically caught in the act, then they can still press charges for an assault or a trespass or anything. Right. So I don't know why the garbage would make any difference. But
that whole, whatever you want to call it, it's kind of odd. It feels like they use it whenever, randomly.
If they don't want to do something, it's like, oh, well, we didn't see it. So yeah. But no, Brandi, you brought up the choking thing. I was at the Republican convention this past weekend.
So I haven't watched, I know the video went around. I didn't catch Rob's show on Friday. I don't know if you guys talked about it on that, but I've been waiting for you to fill me in. So I don't know anything about it.
It's not a very interesting story. And the video is like the far, far tail end of the whole thing. But essentially you had like two factions within the state level Republican Party, and they were trying to come up with a platform all weekend. And naturally within both factions, there's always that tiny little group on each side that is like emotional and extreme and doesn't know how to handle themselves. And so you had people trying to have like a quasi-private meeting, just like be away from the rest of the group. They had walked out. They had done like a walkout, denied quorum. I was part of that group. We denied quorum, and we were just trying to count each other and figure out like if we actually had denied quorum and write our name on a sheet, like sign an affidavit that we had indeed walked out, because they were being really shady about it. And in walks, one of the crazy people from the other side, being an instigator. And people had asked her to leave, and she was like filming, trying to instigate, and she didn't listen. So I guess they were trying to like shut the door, and then she's like slamming into the door. She didn't want it shut. She felt like it was her God.
So she was a Republican wanting
everybody
to
there was
and she was wanting to disrupt the process.
The process was over. Like, that's the crazy part.
What was her goal?
So if you want to hear her side of the story, it's that she was simply going in to get coffee, Brandi. She was just going in that room to get coffee. And she was texting her kids back at home to see if they were okay. And men came over and assaulted her. They surrounded her and assaulted her and pushed her and shoved her, and they were very, very mean to her. That
sounds
sounds
very
like
unlikely.
sounds completely believable. But anyways, I was there, and that's not what happened. So I don't have to like believe anybody. I know with my own eyes what happened, and that is not what happened. She was an instigator, and she felt for some reason that was the hill she was going to die on, and that was her right to be in that room, yada yada yada. And her crazy ass husband, who had been causing problems all weekend, who it has now been found out is a career violent felon, very, very violent person, has been arrested many times
Whoa.
for assault, led like prison riots, allegedly. Not alleged. I mean, he got convicted of these things, so I don't think you have to say allegedly. But
yeah, it's not
so
slander or libel if you're telling the truth.
he's
Can you say their
he.
names?
It's not important.
Okay.
No one knows them. They're nobodies. But
Gotcha.
they like the last thing he got arrested for was kicking in the Capitol door, which they were there protesting the COVID mandates and stuff, which like, hey, I'd support that. That's great. But like, why do you have to kick in the Capitol door? Like that's too far. Like this guy has a pattern of taking things too far, like not knowing when is appropriate to do something and where the line is. He doesn't know where the line is in life, and that's why he's been in the prison system.
Oh, a boundary violator. So he's a predator.
Yeah. So he comes running in hot, and essentially, after throwing me out of the way, walks up and just chokes somebody, but puts his hand right up around the guy's throat, and thought that was he still to this day.
So that was the husband of the lady.
Thinks, yep. And he thinks that because his wife was being assaulted by many men at a Republican convention for Republicans, that all Republicans, everybody all on the same page, on the same boat, he thought his life was in danger, I guess, enough to choke another man.
That's weird.
And he barged in the room past his wife. His wife was okay and not in harm's way, and did not stop to help his wife or get her out of the situation. He ran in demanding to know who was assaulting his wife, because his wife's screaming that she's being assaulted. And so he wanted to do something about it. One of those. And yes, he wanted to do something about it. And he stands by it, and all his friends do, all these people, and these are the same people who, I don't need to talk shit. It was crazy and ridiculous. And under no circumstances at any sort of political event, be it a city council meeting or a convention or a rally or anything, do you need to put your hands around somebody else's neck?
No,
that's not a defensive move.
Illegal.
You're not protecting anybody. Yeah, there's under no circumstance. Like, I don't care if like Perry and I are at some like crazy emotional rally with conservatives versus liberals, and shit's going crazy, and Antifa's trying to get at us. You don't put your hands around someone's neck. There's no maybe in a bar fight, but
so this lady,
it's kind of a dumb move.
She was being assaulted though, and no one touched her, from what I understand. Correct?
I mean, people definitely had hands on her, but I think it was more of like, ma'am, please leave. And then a hand is on me, and then I'm gonna like shove into it. And
so she did a basketball flop.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Yep. If anybody watches sports, this was the moment where like your foot made contact with somebody else's foot, so you like jump on the ground, and now you've been tripped, and it's a foul. Anyways,
what led to that altercation? So she entered the room. She said she was just getting coffee. Yep. What did she really do?
She might have come to that room just to get coffee, but I was standing with my back up to the door frame, so she's right in front of me, and I saw her pull up her phone, and she had her camera out. She was taking pictures or videos. She was instigating. So in that moment, she went from wanting coffee, maybe if I believe her, to now making a conscious decision to be an instigator.
So forgive me for being pedantic, but what was she doing that was instigating? Because I mean, pulling your phone out and recording, everybody does that all the time. So what
But
was she
that's
doing?
instigating. I mean, that's definitely bizarre. That in and of itself.
Maybe
But
I'm missing
then
the
she started making
context.
comments, and because there were altercations the night before with her and her husband, where they were screaming at people, calling them names, asking to fight, to take things, like her husband tried to fight another woman the night before, like was like, let's take this outside, right? So
Why
like,
weren't they already removed from the event?
oh, because people love them.
Oh,
They're
okay.
patriots,
So,
right?
okay.
We're all same team, same team. Everybody's cool. It's one of
So
those
it
things.
wasn't just the recording, it was the comments that she was making.
Right. I don't remember exactly what she was saying, but it was, she's recording and then someone says, hey, like, why are you doing that? And she's like, why are you guys doing this? Like, what are you doing in here? Why are you in
Okay.
here? And it's like, well, why are we in here? Because we just
So
walked out and we're
was she
allowed to be.
part of the Republican convention though?
Yep. Yep. She's a delegate
So
from Lynn County.
like I'm trying to get my head
You,
around what
you're
the
not going to
heck,
be able to.
like
You're not
what
going to be
was
able to.
their problem?
That they have a problem. They have an emotional
Like
problem. I don't know. Yes.
dooka dooka
Yeah.
dooka?
I mean, I've talked to them. I talked to them afterwards. I talked to them since, like talked to them directly afterwards. I've talked to them since, and it's essentially they were fed lies about the other faction. They're on one side, and it's like this is how a lot of like this is how Charlie Kirk got assassinated, essentially, right? You instead of talking about constructive topics and working through things like a rational human being, you demonize the other side and you point it, you paint
Right.
it as like a morality issue, right?
Us
So
versus them.
yes, so all of a sudden, the group that I was part of that denied quorum and walked out, we were immoral. We were just bad people who were trying to disrupt a totally good process, right?
Oh,
Like
I
the
think I
thing they were doing
understand.
in the room was good. The
Okay.
people who stayed were good, and the people who left were bad and evil and trying to, disrupt a good thing. So that's when you paint something in that light, you
Sure.
get people who are not wired properly to believe it and act on
Right.
it. And so that's what you get. But I gotta bring Rob into this because he's been patiently waiting in
Oh,
the
okay,
green room.
okay.
Sorry, Rob.
I have
We'll
more
bring you on.
questions though.
We'll circle back to it because
Okay.
I texted him to get him on here. So hey, Rob, how's it going?
I'm gathering signatures.
Hey.
I'm out
He's
here in the war zone, in the trenches. I'm
Where are you
fighting
at?
Kiefer. No,
I
that's
see
not
them in
true.
the background.
Yeah,
Oh
they're
yeah,
gathering.
I can see
We
him through
put
your
a lot
window.
of signatures. A lot of people have been signing.
Very cool, yeah.
Where are you at right now?
At Napa. We'll
Napa?
be here
Oh,
at 7.
Napa, what town? Bandon?
Bandon, Oregon, right in the parking lot. Napa at Bandon, Oregon.
So for people, if you want to sign, there's 3 petitions.
3 petitions. We've got the
Recall
one
Tina. Okay, go
that
for it. You do it.
they got the recall Tina Kotek, which is going to be going up pretty soon. We got just a couple weeks on that. We need them all turned in. So if you want to sign it, get out to our booth. Today we'll be here in Napa in Bandon till 7. Tomorrow we'll be at Best Western's parking lot in Coos Bay until 7 o'clock, 3 to 7 as well. But we've got no tolling, which we don't want any tolls on our roads because we've already paid for those roads. And we've got the go back to old timey voting. When we used to show ID, you'd go to a precinct polling place and everyone would know who everyone was. And we wouldn't have machines counting our ballots, and we wouldn't have all those ballots going out in the mail where we have no idea who's returning them.
And
That's
in
what
case
I'm doing.
people are concerned about it, if you are a disabled person, an active duty military, and need an absentee ballot, you can still request a ballot be mailed to you. So we are not disenfranchising, populations of people.
Oh yeah, many
Yeah.
states have absentee ballots, and it's a totally normal process that
That would
neither
still
side
be in
disagrees
place.
with. Yes.
Yes.
Very cool.
No, we've been out here since 3 o'clock. It was really crappy this morning. It was thundering and lightning, and the wind was blowing. I was like, man, there's no way we're going to get petition signatures. And then it just cleared up. It was like really nice. It was a little windy at first, but now it's beautiful.
Very cool. How's it been? How are the people?
Power to the people.
How
Well,
are
hey, I
how
got
is
going.
that too?
Oh, I'm sorry. I think I skipped.
How has it been tonight? Are a lot of people coming by to sign?
Yeah, there's a lot of people, and they have some really interesting takes on everything. You know what I mean? It's that's the nice thing. Talking to people, I haven't really seen anyone that I've known well enough to ask them to be a PCP. We were trying to get people to be precinct committee people, and I don't know if you've looked at the tally. We've got like 47 now. 47 people who want to be PCPs, and they're being denied by Michael Brainerd, the chair of the Republican Party. This is ridiculous.
That's 47 Republicans who want to step up and shape their party, get their party active, get their party getting people to vote and getting people involved in the democratic process that are being blocked by one dude with a big ego.
Yep.
I'm going to try something for people who are watching. There's a QR code. I think I'm pointing in the right
The other
direction.
direction.
Yeah.
Oh, it's over there. That's good to know that I'm mirrored, because I think I've pointed wrong probably the whole year then. So it should be on the left side of your screen, right? Upper left-hand corner. But if you use your phone, that's a QR code, and it will send you directly to the Secretary of State's website, and you can sign up to be a PCP, which is a precinct committee person. You're a neighborhood representative, and you can do this whether you're Democrat or Republican. If you're registered some other party or non-affiliated, you can't right now. You could register if you switch to Democrat or Republican, then you can, but it's only for major political parties.
And if you do register as Republican, you have to wait 180 days before you can be appointed as a PCP.
Appointed, but in order to meet the May election eligibility, we're still 180 days out. So you have to be 180 days.
Yeah.
Hold on. I don't think it is for appointment. For appointment, you don't need to be registered 180 days. It's only for the election.
That is also true. I forgot. So yeah,
okay. Okay.
They are trying to change that, but yeah, so you can be appointed if you, I mean, we don't want people who just decided they're conservative today, but if you've been conservative for quite a while and this is something you want to do with your life and you want to represent the conservative values and platform, then yes, just because you switched over to Republican today does not prevent you from being appointed tomorrow. But for the election, you have to have been registered with a major party, Republican or Democrat, for 180 days prior to the election or the filing deadline. I can't remember I think it's the filing deadline. So March, it's like it's coming up. It might have already passed, but it's still worth it to switch and try and talk to the elections office about it. But anyways, it's this way. There's the QR code if people want to scan that, and it's pretty simple. It's like name, address, email. You can sign up on your phone. You can also switch your voter registration on that website. It's like My Vote Oregon Gov. I don't know, something like that. But
that's a good way to do it. I gotta go. My battery's almost going to die, so I'm gonna hop off here. Okay.
Appreciate you coming on.
No problem. Take care.
Take care, Rob. All right, guys.
It's just us again. Back to.
I'm curious what website you just sent people to.
I know, right? I hope it's the right one.
Do you want me to test it?
Yeah, somebody test it. It should send them right to the form, the SEL 105 form. If I did it right. This is a new feature that they just added today, so I wanted to try it out. So I think I can leave it on the whole time because I don't think it's intrusive. But
it's not. It's great.
People wonder what it is.
Yeah, it worked. Candidate filing, precinct committee person, SEL 105. Yeah, that's cool. I like
it. Is it's a big responsibility, so people think about it before you just do it. But it also isn't a big responsibility if you're already somebody who's active and you're already a good representative for your neighborhood. So you know,
Mhm.
it's a choose your own adventure. Like you can be super involved or you can be less involved. We just need more
And
people
this is
involved.
cool. Like you literally just fill it out
Yep.
on your phone. You know what's really cool about this, Chris, is like I've mentioned many times, I'm not a Republican, but I do support a healthy power balance. And what you guys are doing to educate people, teaching people what is an SEL 105, and teaching people how to get involved in the civic and this process, you know, and kind of do their civic duty. It's so cool. Very
It's a good
cool.
stepping stone. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
You'll get it. Perry, remember when my camera got stolen?
Yeah.
The trail cam? Well,
Yeah.
I'm sitting around the other day and my phone goes
Oh,
off and somebody turned it on. But I'm pretty sure they sold it to somebody else because it's just like this older couple who like set it up at their house to like watch their chicken coop. So a little awkward, but I thought it would give me a GPS location and it doesn't. At least I can't figure it out.
I think you put a GPS location in your phone where your phone
When
is.
you're there. Yep.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
I don't know. I got a license
Remember when my
plate,
two
but
got stolen? I forgot yours got stolen. I was sitting there thinking, man,
have
I'm
yours
having
turned back
bad
on?
luck. I'm 0 for 2.
Oh no.
I don't know if
You-
this is possible where you guys are putting your trail cameras, but I use trail cameras all the time for a very different reason than you guys do. But I
we're
actually
catching
bring,
animals.
yeah, different kind of animal. I take when I bring my pack in and I'm like doing I'll cut trails that I want to bow hunt sometimes and do stuff like that. And if you're going to put up a trail camera, I'll bring my Milwaukee drill deal and lag bolts, and I have a lock box, and then I use one of those round, it's like a lock that's hard to cut. And I just lag bolt the case to a tree, lock it up, and I've never had a problem doing that. When I do find trail cameras though, I will warn you, I like totally have software on my phone where I can take, and I have PNG images that I layer over. So I'll pop someone's chip out, pull an image, and like edit an image and overlay a monster and then put their chip back in their camera.
That's funny.
You don't find them very often, just because most people will steal them if they find them. But when I do find them, I like to.
Well, if I ever see an
that's
alien
what
on
I
my
do.
cam, I'll know it's Brandi.
It was, probably.
But darn it. So somebody's got my camera out there. So if you're an older couple and you put it outside your chicken coop, you've got like 5 geese and some chickens, please contact me and I'll pay you whatever you paid for the camera. I just want my camera back. But
So you think they bought a stolen camera, probably from
I would
a
imagine.
local pawn shop?
Yeah, or Craigslist or something. It's
So
just
I
funny
think-
though that they don't recognize that it's a cellular camera and I'm getting all their pictures. I guess I'll turn off the subscription, but I was hoping I would catch like their face and then I could at least maybe by some chance I know them. But
So do we
I don't
get to
think you
see
have
the
to turn it
chickens or
off.
what?
no, that's not appropriate. I'm assuming that they fair and square bought this camera and they did not know it was stolen.
You
I
can
still
probably
wanna
switch
see the
cameras with that subscription.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I only have one of that particular camera. That was my
Right.
really expensive, really good camera. So I'm gonna be really mad at whoever stole it. But anyways, so yeah, the Republican thing, totally stupid, crazy.
So I have more questions, and I forgot what my questions
Jeez.
were. Because I'm really trying to understand, like, what?
We talked about it for like 3 hours on Rob's show.
Okay. Well, because for the viewers,
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense because they're like, why are Republicans fighting with Republicans? And now I remember what my question was. So does this have to do with to kind of educate people that may not be in the loop, right? There is a group of Republicans that are trying to change the Republican Party platform.
Right.
And they're trying to
They did
change
it. They succeeded.
Okay, so they succeeded. And so that's what the fluff up was about. There's
Yes.
a group of Republicans that wanted to, and they succeeded in changing the party platform. And they didn't change it in ways that were like,
They wanted to remove all policy directives, right? So
yeah,
what that means is like there's no concretes anymore. It's all high level, abstract, fluffy words, doesn't tell you really what the Republicans want to have happen. You know, it's like, oh, we support life, we support human life, right? Might be like a high level value. And then a policy directive would be, you know, we don't support, well, let's start with late term abortions, you know, or maybe they draw the line somewhere, right? We don't support abortions after 10 weeks. That's a policy directive. So they took stuff like that out of it, and they left sentences like, we support life. Well, then the argument is, well, how do you support all life? Because the Republican platform supports capital punishment, the death penalty. Now we're in conflict, because prior it said we do not support abortions, we support capital punishment, and we do not support assisted suicide, euthanasia. And those are very clear concretes that people can understand.
yeah.
And it's very clear for a policymaker, like a legislator or senator, can follow that. Well, now it's high level. Oh, we support life. Well, what do you know? Again, do you now
does that
support
mean?
capital punishment? So then they argued about that sentence. So okay, we're going to change it. We support we support life from conception to natural conclusion. And it's like, but again, like that capital punishment is not natural conclusion. So I guess it just gets super weird because you took out the actual meat of it. And so I could go on
So
and on.
that
But
was
I mean,
the
all
riff.
the topics. Yes.
So there was and I'm kind of, forgive me again for like being a little myopic here, but I'm breaking it down for the individuals who may not like know what's going on and what's causing the rift. It is a group of Republicans who are aiming to significantly water down the party platform, and a group of Republicans seeking to maintain very rigid directives.
Well, and they did it under an unauthentic standpoint of, we are trying to reach out to the non-affiliated voters and the independents and the moderate Democrats to come to our side. And it's like, you do that through marketing. You don't do that by changing your foundation.
No,
right?
no, they change things. And I will say, as an independent, I've never been a registered Republican. Okay, I've never been affiliated with Republicans outside of my bipartisan work for a non-partisan political organization. But I can tell you, as an independent from the outside looking in, the only two things that the Republican Party needed to change were to stop trying to block adults from entering into a marriage agreement with whoever they'd like to, and to stop trying to prevent adults from exercising bodily autonomy through abortion. Those are and I'm personally against late term abortions. Like, I think if the fetus can live outside of the womb, don't kill it. But I still maintain, and we've beaten that, horse to death. But so those are the only two real issues that hang people up. So why change all of this other stuff? It doesn't make any sense to do this complete, like, just from the outside looking in, it doesn't make any sense. They could have just changed those two things. And sorry, Perry, go ahead.
Nobody should believe 100% on any group's policy.
Yeah.
Nobody should.
Yeah.
If you are, you're just a cult follower.
Right. It's inevitable that there's going to be disagreements.
And so people just have to accept that, hey, it is what it is. I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican, but I don't like a few things, and move on, or be independent because you're nowhere near either one, or whatever it is.
Well,
so that's the rift. for the
100%.
for the
And
lay
like,
people. Yeah.
not that I want to get into conversation about abortion, but while we're on that example, so prior they had actual policy directives. I can't remember
Yes.
exactly what they were, but I would imagine it was probably around like after a heartbeat, probably is where they drew the line. I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
I
But
want to
now the line
say,
says, it says every human life from conception until natural death has inherent dignity and individual value.
what does that mean?
And well, that, right. Well, and it goes on, and regardless of race, biological sex, or any other immutable genetic traits. And anyway, so it's like, right. So now it's like, it's up for interpretation what that means. But if you take it to its most extreme meaning, does that mean, you said from conception, so does that mean that Republicans believe in completely outlawing any sort of abortion, including the Plan B pill, which isn't that after conception,
Well,
potentially?
and I'm assuming you're reading it verbatim. The way you read it gives no directive. It just says a human life has value and dignity
Because
regardless
it can't
of
give
immutable
they
characteristics.
right, they
It
changed
gives
the bylaws so
zero
that
directive.
the platform was not allowed to give any sort of directive, which so great, we now have a party that has no directive.
It's all philosophy. So it's
Yes,
basically the Democrat Party working on ideology.
it just was unnecessary. If the authentic goal was to be able to bring in non-affiliated and independents, you can do that with a summarized version of our platform, or
Yeah.
a marketed version of our platform that has a broader appeal. And they had that prior to this weekend. You could go on the website and you could find the full 18-page platform with tons of directives. And then you also had a 2-page companion that was a summary, and it was the high level stuff, the broader, philosophical thing that you can hand out to like a non-affiliated and be like, hey, this is high level what we believe in. And it's something they're reasonably going to read. Now we have neither. We don't have the short 2-pager.
Right.
And it was like 2 pages with like big font. So it was pretty much a 1-pager. And we don't have the 18-pager. Now we have, I believe it's like 7 pages. And it's like really tiny font. It's like a dense 7 pages. I might have that number wrong. Let me check. It's 6 pages. 6 pages of cover sheet. So it's 5 pages. It's 5 pages, but very dense. And no one's going to read that. So they made that argument. No one reads an 18-page platform. Well, no one's going to read this 5-page.
I read the entire federal Republican platform. Right. Why not, if you really want to revamp the Oregon Party platform, why not just copy the federal platform? They were all super enthusiastic about voting for Trump and everything Trump stands for. Yeah. So why not just use the federal party platform?
Changed the bylaws so that we couldn't start with anything but this new platform that came up in a committee. They formed a committee to come up with a whole new platform as a starting ground, and just threw out the old one that has been worked on over years and years and years, and everybody agreed to in 2023. They threw it out and started over. So the whole process was messed up. It was bound to have conflict. And I'm really disappointed in the upper leadership in the party that they didn't see this coming, or did they see it coming and then they failed to act? That's even worse. So that's in a nutshell. Perry looks thrilled. This is why people don't want to get involved in this stuff, because it's nonsense, right? And locally, we have the option we can ratify any sort of platform we want, right? The local Republican Party we could ratify the old one from 2023, which is what I would vote for.
You got to pull them
I
out
would
of the
totally. If I were a consultant giving the Republican Party advice, I would say adopt the federal platform.
Yeah, or the RNC. Yep, the federal platform.
That's because so many people back the federal platform, and I read the whole thing, and it is long, but it's an easy read. It's worth adopting.
It's just so irrelevant when we have issues like of getting people even just being members of the local
Yeah.
party. Like we don't have
Yes.
an executive team that wants to add membership to the party. So those are the battles we have to fight right now. We have to get city councilors elected and, you know, school board members elected, and that honestly, the platform is not going to make or break it whatsoever. People don't care.
Right.
To me, it's words versus actions is all it is.
Yeah.
It's same type of concept. What are you doing compared to what that thing says? What it says doesn't really matter.
Right.
Ultimately.
So, but it is pretty crappy that some people in high places were like, we don't want any policy directives because people have been holding our feet to the fire with this platform and we haven't quite been following it. So let's just remove it. Then they'll have nothing to come after us with.
So that's so that kind of hit on something. They're not following it, which the example of pushing for all those people to get elected that were Democrats is it's also helping with those causes.
Yep. Yeah, you're saying when I ran for SWAC, like how they endorsed the Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we had a Republican senator endorsing Democrats. Yeah, with that new platform, he could look at that and be like, hey, I know those people. And honestly, they support, you know, a lot of this part of it when it comes to education. And it's like,
I have now seen for
no, they don't.
myself how incredibly petty and small that man is. And oh my goodness, I can't imagine being in that position and being such a child.
Yep. Yeah, you've no
Literally
idea
like
about it.
won't have anything to do with me because I associate with Rob Taylor. Let me tell
Yep.
you right now, Rob Taylor is just as hard on me as he is on everyone else. Like he kind of like gives me the business on a regular, like he'll give me the what for, you know?
And he should.
And he should, and he will continue to. It'll probably get worse. But this gentleman in power will not have anything to do with me because of my affiliation. I just
they're stuck
wonder
in high
what
school.
happens when he doesn't have a choice
What I
anymore.
was gonna
Boy, isn't
say.
that going to be awkward?
Yep.
Sorry,
No,
Perry, what'd you say?
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. They're stuck in high school.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah,
childish.
yeah.
And they did that all weekend essentially. And I actually, you know, I'm there this weekend with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, me and Danessa included, where there's 5 people from our executive team out of 9 at this convention all weekend. And we obviously have a party in conflict locally here in Coos County. And it was a great opportunity to be able to like work through some of that. But our chair wanted nothing to do with it. He did not want to talk with anybody about anything. He did not. I offered to meet with him several times, like 5 times, tried different techniques to schedule a meeting with him, ask him to breakfast, ask him to coffee, ask him for a drink after the meeting, and anything. Nope, didn't want anything to do with it. But I did meet with 2 of the other executive team members who are kind of on the other side. And I wish I could say it was constructive. Not that it was like crazy. It was a conversation. We had a very civil conversation for over an hour, but it was mostly them listing grievances that cannot be reconciled. So to me, that's not really constructive. Anyway, so, but where was I getting? Oh, high school. One of the main grievances was that essentially mainly me, I surround myself with deplorable people. You know, Rob Taylor is a deplorable, and Danessa is a deplorable. I'm not saying this, like, this is what I was being told, right? Like that you know, the people in that I associate with are deplorable, and that they have no business being in politics. They have no business being part of the Republican Party, and that's how they feel. And you know, again, back to like not being able to reconcile any of this. Like, what do I do with that? What do you want me to like? Even if they are, let's just say for a second, these people are deplorable. They also gave me a lecture about being Christian. And one of the greatest stories in the Bible is about Jesus and Mary Magdalene, who was deplorable. And I'm pretty sure all the other people he hung out with were deplorable.
I'm
And I
like
just,
biting my tongue.
oh,
Oh my goodness.
we started this conversation in a public environment, which I asked to have a private meeting, but they didn't want it. We were in a public environment, and it was so insane. And I just sat there. I didn't say anything because it doesn't matter.
Let's make
And
something
people
very
were
clear.
jumping into the conversation because it was that insane. Like random strangers were like, "You can't say that to him. Like that's not a thing."
Well,
I mean, I
so
was being told that one of the main grievances is that I moved here only a couple years ago, 4 years ago. What do I do about? I mean, how do I reconcile that, people? What do you want me to do? Do you want me to
so
do you want me to leave, or do you want me to wait till I've been here like 30 years to start saying this stuff is
To
wrong
start
and needs?
standing up for the people
Yeah.
who have been born and raised for generations in this community.
Yeah, go ahead, Barry. Go ahead.
I
Sorry.
can use how they've treated me as a great example. I've said
You're
two things
so
about them.
deplorable.
I've said two things about them. Number one, they're cowards, which they are. They are hiding. They
Yeah.
are cowards. They
Yep.
prove it every single day, refusing to talk, refusing to do anything. And I've said that they are hiding. Another thing they prove every single day that they are doing.
Yep.
It's 100% true.
And it's something that they
And,
can reconcile. You're
and I'm the
giving them
bad guy.
something concrete and
Mhm.
objective that they can reconcile, right?
Yep.
They can have meetings, they can respond to emails, they can have dialogue. And that
Yep.
is something that would move this group forward, but they refuse to do it.
Yep.
And
I can't
we just
reconcile that I live somewhere else. Go ahead.
now, Greg, I'm going to say this, with the caveat that, right, I'm taking your version of the events as fact. So can we just say to these people, FYI, if you need some kind of reminder, every American citizen has a right to be involved in politics. You don't get to decide who's worthy and who's not. So that pedestal you're on, maybe jump off of it before someone knocks you off of it, because every American has an inherent right, and I would argue a duty, to participate in politics.
Whether
And
they've
that's
been
my
here
little.
for 1 year or 100, or whether they've whether they're deplorable or not. I mean, I would hope we have people who are not deplorable in like leadership positions, but I mean, it depends on your definition. Because like I went through and I'm like, well, what makes them shitty people? What makes them such horrible people?
No, I
And
love when people throw
I
out
can't.
ad hominems as if none apply to them.
Well, and so that's, I love getting in arguments with people because they will throw out
No.
names, do all of this stupid stuff, have nothing to back it up. But at
Yeah.
the moment they can call you a name, then you're nothing. And so they don't got to listen to you. And it's pathetic. And once again, it's
Dehumanizing.
cowardly.
Yep.
And you see it all over. If you
And
can't,
it is not Christ-like.
if you can't back up what you say with facts, you have a problem. You have a huge problem. Everything you
If you
should
have to
say, everything you say, you should be able to back up. Even
Yep.
your opinions. Supposedly everybody has a right to an opinion, but no, you don't. Your ignorant, lie-based opinions have no business anywhere. Your opinions need to be based in fact.
Or you can have them, but don't use them to rationalize taking action against somebody. Like I'm literally they're trying to recall me from my position and kick me out of the party. Don't use your opinion or your hate for me, or not even me. I honestly, like, the conversation I had was less about me and more about like the people I surround myself with. And it's like,
That's
guilty by
insane.
association. That's crazy.
So, okay, can we just please go back to Jesus for a moment and acknowledge the fact that he spent a lot of time around like thieves and prostitutes? Like
Yep.
he was a guide to the lost. And the fact that these people, their solution is to just reject anyone who's not good enough, that is not okay. And I'm like really tempering my language, because this is something that all people have a right to participate in the democratic process and should not be dissuaded from doing so. Democracy does not belong to just a collection of people.
I can show my accomplishments in this county easily. What
Yes,
I've
you
done.
can.
What can they show? What have they accomplished in this county? Other than
That's
destroying the Republican Party, what have they done?
it's not even a rhetorical question. I would love to see some
Right.
results.
Right. I'm about as public as I can get. Everybody knows what I do
Well, and I
almost
brought
on a daily basis, and they
I
see it.
brought you up as an example. I said, like, look, like let's just agree on something that we can both see that's a fact objectively, right? That you have a large following. You have a megaphone, and that reaches people, right? Why would we not want to work with you? Like, let all the other stuff aside, right? Like, let's say we don't like you, yada yada yada, right? Okay, but why would we not want to see if there's a way that we could work with you? Have we ever had that conversation? I mean, obviously I have. You're on this show, but I'm trying to get them to think, like, have you ever had that conversation with him? And maybe the answer is no. Maybe you're such a vile, disgusting person that it's not going to work out. Or maybe the crowd that you are using your microphone to reach is not something that's going to be constructive. Maybe. But again, have you had that conversation? And it's like, you guys haven't. You
I've
haven't.
never even reached out to him.
No.
Nope.
And
They
like
don't
I
want
said
to.
before, if Michael Brainard reached out to me and was like, you're a coach, what the hell do I do? I would 100% set aside every single personal feeling I have, and I would pour myself into helping that man because
I would
it's the
help him.
right thing to do. You do not alienate people in the professional, public, democratic sphere because of your personal biases. It is reprehensible. I don't care how much you like or dislike the person. You do not alienate people in this atmosphere. It's wrong.
But
Nothing they've done has been based in morality or ethical at all. Nothing.
You work with everyone, man. Like,
what we're exposing is honestly like a flaw in religion, right? Because you have like let's take the Christian faith. You're supposed to assume that anybody who says they're a Christian is on the same page, right? But it's like people interpret the Christian religion differently, and these particular people, I'm pretty sure they interpret it as like a hierarchical, thing, like God is king, and you have to follow him and submit to him, and that's just how it is. And it's like you're down here, God is up here, right? Whereas other people interpret the Christian religion as like everybody can be Jesus, right? Like everyone has the opportunity to share the spirit, the Holy Spirit of Jesus with everybody, and he lives in us, and we can emulate him. And like we talked about, reaching people and forgiving people and helping them. That is what Jesus did. And if we follow in his footsteps, we can be him. And it's more of like a team thing, as opposed to like people taking like John 3:16, like that directive from the Bible too far to just mean that simply if you as a person believe in God and believe that Jesus came and died for our sins, full stop, that's it. That's all you have to do. It doesn't matter how you live your life. It doesn't matter who you try and reach. It doesn't matter what you do. You're going to heaven, and these other deplorable people are going to hell, and damn them for it, right? That like there are people out there who think that way, and they don't realize that the true Christian religion, I guess maybe this is my opinion, but the true Christian religion is that man lives within each and every one of us, and it's our duty to use the stories that we have learned about him as a guide for our life. So
that's what is meant by accepting Jesus Christ into your heart as your Lord and Savior. It means that you develop the heart of Christ, that you walk in Christ's footsteps, so that you model your life after his teachings. It doesn't mean you get to cherry pick the Bible. It's crazy town.
They forget that they're supposed to take the plank out of their own eye before they mess with the sliver in the
that's
other
a good one.
eye or whatever. Yep.
They removed that policy directive from their Bible.
Yes, they did.
I have a little thing that I wrote on care versus care that I think is relevant here, and that care can mean two things. Care can be an emotional state, and care can be an adjective. It can be a thing that you do. And so you can care deeply and do fuck all about it, or you can not care at all and still do the work that improves lives. I would choose a person who doesn't care at all, but still does the work they know is the good work, than a person who cares and does nothing to follow up with it any day of the week. And this situation reminds me of people who claim to care and do nothing to prove it.
Yep. And just full clarification, I'm not saying that I'm perfect or that I am living the life of Christ or amazing, but I also do not go around lecturing other people from a moral standpoint.
We don't alienate people.
I
No.
definitely lecture people on like, hey, if you're a PCB coordinator for the Republican Party and you're supposed to be finding Republican leaders to bring into the party, and you're not doing that, if you're like scoreboard at the end of the year is 0, that you've brought no people in, it's not a personal thing. It's not a moral thing. I don't think you're a bad person.
It's a merit
but I do
thing,
100% think you suck at that job. And you should not have it anymore. And you should be absolutely willing to give it to somebody else who's going to do a better job, and not fight them and not claim that they're deplorable and that they shouldn't get that job because they're deplorable.
Insane.
If every one of these people were employed and these were their jobs and they were paid for, they wouldn't be employed.
Right. Wow.
That's why political parties are a hobby, not a job.
It's crazy. We've covered a lot. We've spread the good word of Jesus.
I just hit the whole thing of like, so here's the disturbing part about this is like, if I don't like you, I don't have to work with you. If I don't like you, I refuse to cooperate and coordinate with you. These are the same type of people who would, in a hurricane that hit Florida, distributing federal help, skip houses with Trump signs because they don't deserve the help. It's the same mentality. They're basically lunatic leftists in different packaging. It's the same shitscape.
Yeah. Well, and so like we were talking about the Republican Party shuffling and stuff over the weekend, and it's like, yeah, so like we might all be Republicans, just like we might all be Christians, but at the end of the day, there's still two main ways that people live their lives. Do you live your life subjectively or objectively? Do you walk around and just kind of live in your own world in your head where you make all these subjective opinions and criticisms of people that are kind of irrational, and then make assumptions and then double down on those assumptions and just go with it? Or do you look around the world objectively? Do you seek out truth? Do you seek out facts? Do you give people the benefit of the doubt and give them second and third chances to prove to you an objective truth?
That was very Randian.
Is it? But
yeah, it was a little. It was a little.
That's really the separate. So in all these groups, you have, yes, we're all Republicans, but you have this divide. You might be all Christians, but there's a divide. And that's what it is. So that's like a lot of times, right? If you have two groups of conservatives and they're mad at one another, they'll kind of both be like, you're a leftist. No, you're a leftist. You're a Democrat. You're a rhino, and it's like, no, you guys are both actually Republican, but you look at the world differently. Like literally how you operate your daily lives is very, very different. But anyways, Perry, you had something.
Oh, I have so many people that cannot stand me because I see everything completely black and white.
Objective.
It is
what it is.
Yeah.
That's
and there's gray area, and you do understand that.
Yeah, I do understand it.
But you use the facts and the objectivity to understand the gray area and to pull the gray apart to black and white.
Yeah. And that's probably why the three of us kind of mesh well.
You got to get out of here?
Yeah.
All right. Good having you on.
Good night, Perry.
And he's gone.
He's so great. I think that is why the three of us kind of have, because we all do have that very objective view of the world. Like things are what they are, and anything that's layered on top of that is feeling. It's not real. It's, and not to say that our feelings can't manifest in very real behaviors, but objectivity is objectivity to the extent that we can prove it is, at least.
It's the only way two people can compare, because we're not in each other's minds. So
Yeah.
it's the only way to find common ground, in my opinion.
Yeah. I will
and-
say, to the credit of some of the people in our local area that I have been particularly hard on, I'm now expecting those people to be willing to collaborate with me. And I think with reluctance, they're still doing it. And that is a testament to their own maturity, to their own resolve to the community. And so, and that is a thing where like we have to be able to openly criticize people fairly and without ad hominems, and keep it focused on the issue. I disagree with this decision, and this is why. I disagree with this path, and this is why. And for the most part, locally, people are pretty willing to continue to collaborate, even with people they don't like, for the most part, like within government, elected positions, not-for-profit, stuff like that. And when you come across a personality that is not cooperative, I will say that it's very noticeable to everyone. It's been kind of and I'm being vague on purpose, please forgive me, but it's been an interesting, there's some stuff that's going on behind the scenes that are like emails only communications and one-on-one meetings and stuff that are really promising.
Okay.
So yeah. And so that's cool. And because I didn't know going to this commissioner, like I've been kind of hard on people, and there are people in the community that I vehemently disagree with, and some of the decisions that they made that I think are really, really unethical decisions for the community. And the people that are affiliated with those folks are still willing to collaborate. That's what it takes. That's what it means to be an adult. You don't get to like, and just like I have my own personal beefs, I don't just get to be like, I refuse to represent these people or help these people or work with these people or participate, because I don't like them. Like, what are you, 7?
Yep.
So
but the thing that will help change that and keep it going is more people getting involved, right?
Yeah.
If it's just a couple people who are holding their feet to the fire, then they can get away with that, and they can play the high school games, and they can alienate people. But the more people that get involved and are like,
They
no,
can't get
like
away with it.
we're seeing you for what you are, and we're not just calling you names, we're seeing the work you're doing, and we don't agree with it. And then if you can articulate that, if enough people articulate that, then it's how we change things. So
yeah. And shout out to the local Democrats who are really, there are some local Democrats that are really interested in breaking party lines and really reaching across the aisle and working with people of all kind of political persuasions. And I really have to tip my hat. They're doing it quietly at this point. Of course, me, being the loudmouth that I am, wish that they would be significantly more vocal and outspoken, but not everybody has the same personality and the same tolerance for pushback and stuff like that. So, keep it up, do what you got to do. But a little,
share with them the PCP filing, because if they're Democrats, they can fill out the form. It's over here. It's the QR code up on the screen, and it'll send you to the Secretary of State website. Whether you're in the two major political parties, Democrat or Republican, you can fill this out. You'll be on the May ballot, and you can get involved with your local political party and
that's true, man.
help guide them. So
that's true.
Yeah, if you're a Democrat that is willing to work with people in our community, that's exactly the kind of Democrats we need. And you'll be helping your community out a lot and your party out a lot by being a better representative than the far left extremists that are currently out there representing the Democrat Party. So,
I mean, to the Democrats, I would say, look at the way far right extremism alienated people from the conservative movement, even the good parts of the conservative movement. You know, there was a period of time where it's gotten like a little bit where it's, in my opinion, it's infringing on individual liberties. Like, adults get to choose how they live, back off. But for the Democrats who can see what happened to the Republican Party, now they're seeing it happen to the Democrat Party, where people are like, y'all have gone fully off the rails. You're doing things that are wildly unethical. Take your party back. You don't just have to leave, which, I mean, if you want to. I've always been an independent, so I can't talk a ton of shit. But if you know, it's worth taking your party back, and you guys can use that SEL 105 to put yourself in the running for that precinct committee person for your party. You guys can vote. You can take your party back too. Take it back with reasonable people. And I think to stop extremism, we do kind of have to have the balls to speak out about it. And now, how long have we been doing the show now?
I think we started mainly in January. So quite a while. 9 months.
So we're coming up on a year?
This is episode 36.
Yeah, okay. So we're coming up on, I would say, a year ago,
Feels longer
9
than
months ago. I was absolutely terrified because I thought we were doing videos back in.
It was right around I think the first one we did, kind of like town hall sort of thing, was around the shutting down the jail and the law enforcement stuff in December.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
and then I think you and I first did this as like a regular weekly thing starting in January. Doesn't it seem longer than that? It seems crazy long ago.
Yes, a lot.
It's not even been a year. Yep.
But to tell people, when I first started doing this and I first started kind of saying what I think, it was absolutely terrifying. Like, what's going to happen? It was very scary. And so I understand the reluctance to speak out. We all kind of have to have a little bit of courage. And I say that with an understanding that people may be in positions where they have supervisors that, or they may, they may work for a nonprofit that has a very specific ethos. And so it can be hard. But in order for us to change culture and move away from extremism, we have to have a little bit of courage. So if a lot of courage is too much, like, start with the one little thing you can do. What is the one little thing you can say to somebody? What's the one little action that you can take that's going to move that needle back toward just middle ground? And take that.
I always just ask people, how can I help? Like,
yeah,
if someone's passionate and they're, telling you a bunch of things, like, how can I help? Like, what can I do to help you? And focus on that, because complaining doesn't help. But no, if people get involved in their local party, I mean, crap, you could sit there all year long and not say a word, but your presence there is saying something, and you'll raise your hand for certain votes and stuff, right? And if like, let's say the Democrat Party, like, if you go in and you're there and they're voting to continue doing these rallies, maybe that's your time where you kind of say, hey, like, I think we're all Democrats here. I think we all support the same stuff. But don't you guys think that these rallies kind of paint us in a bad light? Don't you think they're a little divisive? Don't you just don't you think they make us look bad and they're not constructive?
So from the outside looking in, I will tell the Democrats that there is a very large group of people who have started completely avoiding Coos Bay. People are sick of it. They're sick of it. Listen, we all voted for Trump for a reason. If you don't like it, I am sympathetic to that. I'm sorry. But like, this disruptiveness it's old. It's old, man.
Move on and find your next candidate. Start supporting that candidate.
Do something constructive. And I will say to the Democratic Party, the majority of the people that are there protesting, it's not a good look. they're not middle ground. You know, the signs that I've seen are repulsive. The kind of conversations that I've
They're
seen are
hate.
pretty.
It's like you guys really, really hate Orange Man. We get it. You hate Orange
Yeah,
Man. You
man.
don't want him to be your king. He's not your king. Like, we get it. Loud and clear. Roger, over. Like, moving
But
on.
they're not hearing the people who are quiet though. They're not hearing the people that just don't go to Coos Bay to recreate anymore.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of people that just aren't speaking up. They're just withdrawing. And some of the Democrats are leaving the Democrat Party for that exact reason. They don't want to deal with the psychopaths that are going to scream bigot in their face. So they're just quietly walking away. I get it, but it's not helping.
It's not. But if there's the Democrat watching, I encourage you to get involved, because you can be part of the conversation around, hey, what are we doing as Democrats? Does this make sense? Probably not.
And I would even tell the Democrats, like, if you need some provocative people that are going to be pot stirrers and get people talking, reach out to those people and invite them in. Like, I think there's this kind of mental block on like, oh, Republicans can't work with the Democrats and Democrats can't work with it. It's so dumb. Why? Like,
right. If there's an issue, a specific topic that we can work together on, let's do it.
Yeah. The fact of the matter is, what the Republican Party is going through right now in Coos County may seem very scary. It may seem very like drama and, conflict. But what's going to happen is that this party is going to emerge from this extremely strong with dedicated, level-headed leaders. It will happen. If it has to happen in May via vote, it's going to happen. So I hate to break the news to the people that are resisting this to their own detriment. It's going to happen. So through all of this, and people are put off by the Republican Party because of this infighting. And I would say, don't let that stop you. The party is going to emerge significantly more strong and resilient. The Democrat Party could do the same thing. They just have to be willing to have some constructive conflict. And they deserve to have the same thing. Like I said, there needs to be a power balance, because as soon as Republicans get too much power, they start trying to become draconian and infringe on people's civil liberties. They do. I mean, they really do. And like I said, I kind of like have never been a part of either party. Once either party gets too much power, their ideologies are taken too far to the extreme. And so it is important to have a power balance. And I see the Democrat Party completely tanking themselves. So I see one coming up as one's going down. And I want to see them stop, somewhere in here instead of ending up way, way out there.
Well, every day, every week, every month that goes by that the executive party for our local Republican Party, mainly Chairman Michael Brainard, every month that goes by, we're giving it to the Democrats. So if there's Republicans watching this and they don't want that to happen, please reach out to him or me. I'll do what I can to help, but I can't do much right now. So
I would say they're not just handing it to the Democrats. They're handing it to bad candidates. Because what ends up happening?
Or no candidates.
Yes. Because what happens is the Republican parties are failing. They're failing to engage voters. So what happens is the vast majority of the voters just don't participate, like in this last election where we had 24% voter turnout. That's pathetic, you guys. And so what happens is you get disengagement. And when you have disengagement, the few radical voices that are involved are the ones that get to pick. So you end up with probably not the best candidate. So it really,
or a little bit of money goes a long way, and the Democrats last election cycle had all the money. So
and
they did a good job.
They did well. Listen, you go to the Democrat website. It is laid out well. It's easy to read. It's informative. It's inviting. They have all their meetings listed on their calendar. And on that meeting, it says in big, bold letters, all are welcome.
if I was a kid right now, if I was in my 20s, right, or teens, I'm going to go to the Democrat Party stuff. Like if I'm questioning, if I don't really know
Yeah.
what political side I'm on, but I want to help the community and I want change, I'm going to go to their happy hours, their book clubs, their
Yeah.
meetings, and
They have a Thirsty
their
Thursday.
events. Yep.
Yeah.
And because, well, I mean, it's not even either or. There are no Republican events to
Nope.
go to, and we've been putting, like, me and some other people have been putting on some events, but they try and cut us off at the knees and try and make sure that we can't promote them as well as we should be able to. So
It's so
there's that
weird.
going on. Super weird, but yada yada yada. We'll fix it. Stay in there, people.
You guys are doing such a good job, man. Just hanging in and sticking with it, because what happens is most people give up. They get worn out. It just so happens that you're a marathon runner. You're not the best person to pick a battle with, because
Ultra marathon.
I can definitely
50-mile
relate
races.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Have you ever pooped yourself? Is that, you don't have to answer that if you don't want to.
No.
Okay.
But I've mastered the art of going number 1 while running. You can do that. That's a thing. Not number 2.
Going number 1 while running. Do you well, I mean, you have a handle, so.
Golly.
I mean,
Anyways,
it's
no.
true,
So
though.
your point about endurance is valid. Yes, I have.
Well, because I've heard of things
And technique.
happening so what happens is, and
I've seen it.
Yeah, so it's a biological thing. It's like a physiological thing where your body hits a stress point. And I only ask because, like, I'm a biology nerd. So there's a point where your body hits this like physiological and it can happen on these long distance runs where you evacuate. And I
mean, the worst part is you're messing your gut up. You're running for a long time and you're eating the weirdest. I mean, essentially the main thing you consume, especially the faster you go, it's pure sugar. Yeah, I mean, you are just consuming like essentially Coca-Cola for hours. And that is your fuel. And that is not good for your gut. And if you mess up your electrolyte balance, sodium, potassium, some other things, if you mess it up, your gut will plummet and it does not feel good. Oh yeah. So anyways, but valid point about endurance. Yes, anybody out there, if you think that I'm going to quit or encourage anyone else to quit, you are very, very wrong. I will never. So you're in for the long haul then with me. So anyways.
Why fight? Like,
there's
you're
nothing
just
left.
fighting you're fighting a boa constrictor that has you by the neck, man.
Yep.
It's so much easier to collaborate. It is so much easier to just give a little and be willing to work with people.
Yep. Dude wouldn't meet with me all weekend. We sat right next to each other in a giant convention hall, literally side by side, and he would not meet with me.
It's so weird.
Yep. He doesn't even agree that the party's broken. I asked him. He doesn't agree that there's anything wrong with our local party.
Then if they're not broken, what is their goal? What does he think their job is? Like, what is his goal? Because if the goal is to get Republicans or conservatives at the minimum elected, by that metric, they're not doing well.
I don't know. They put a child in charge. Yep.
Man, it's so sad. I can't get my head around the whole, like, I don't like you, so I'm going to professionally alienate you. It's bizarre.
This is why it matters that people become PCPs, which is the first step in a representative position for the Republican Party, and get involved and choose leaders that have proven themselves to be leaders, not kings, not authoritarians, not just the guy in charge. Leaders. I don't know. Look up leadership. Read a book on leadership.
I've questioned a lot, like my own ability and qualification to be a leader, like to run in politics and stuff. And it was the care versus care that actually really solidified my commitment. When I started to when I had this epiphany where I realized that it is more important to participate in caring acts than it is to emotionally care. When I realized that I actually have the capacity to perform caring acts for people that I genuinely don't give a shit about. Like, I can not care. I cannot like someone and still do what it takes to perform a caring act for that person. That's what made me realize that I will be a fantastic leader and I need to stop doubting myself. Because I think that's the most important part of it, is you need to be able to set your personal feelings aside and do what's right for the people who elected you. And now that I finally had this realization, I'm looking around me and I'm seeing all of these people who make decisions on who they care for based on their own personal emotions. And I'm like, you shouldn't have power over people.
Right.
It was just kind of this big,
At one point, someone defended the chair of the Republican Party and was like, he's like a son to me, or like a cousin to me. And I was like, that's the worst reason imaginable.
Yes. Wildly inappropriate. That's like me saying,
I'm down here then because I'm not blood related
riddle
or
me
not
this.
even, I don't know.
So what happens when someone reminds them of an abusive ex? Do they treat them like shit?
So that was part of my conversation with a particular person this weekend, and I very much got that vibe that there was some baggage on that person's side and that I seemed to trigger them from a prior relationship. It's like, again,
how funny
what can I
because
do?
I didn't know anything about that and just kind of.
What do I do about it? Like, sorry, you had a really crappy relationship point. And so when someone is like very direct with you or raises their voice a little, it's intimidating and it shuts you off and it turns you off. That's your baggage, not mine.
Yep.
And I can always learn, I'm not perfect. I can learn to, sometimes maybe I should not raise my voice or I should not be as direct with certain people. Absolutely. Like, I'm not perfect. Like, let me just say, I am not Coos County's best option for leadership. Okay. So there are many people out there that are far well-rounded than I am, and let's help them get elected. Okay.
Yeah.
But I can guarantee you that the people we have in there right now, it's not working. Look around. Things are not working well.
And I can say, as an individual who has exited a really abusive relationship, been diagnosed with PTSD, and went through 9 months and $7,000 worth of therapy to recover from it, it is absolutely your responsibility to deal with your triggers. We are adults. It is not our job as adults to manage other adults' emotions. And I would just say to anyone who is so easily triggered by a person who reminds you of someone, you have some self-work to do. And I don't mean that in like a derogatory way. I don't mean to put anyone down. I mean that I had to do the self-work and it sucked, man. It was like, just I hit rock bottom emotionally. It was a bad space. So I do have all of the empathy in the world for that, but you can't stay in that space. It's not healthy. It's not professional.
It's just frustrating when I'm talking with adults who are supposed to be leaders and I'm asking point blank, like, what can I do to help? What can I do to move us closer to working together, move us closer to being productive as a unit again? And I'm being given like 10, 20 answers that none of which I can reconcile. I can't do anything about. I mean, and some that are just completely fabricated. Like,
so were they setting you up for
one
failure?
was that or they've already made up their mind.
They're intentionally setting you up for failure and
I
intentionally
was told
creating a
that
no-win situation.
one of the biggest issues is that I helped Drew Farmer get elected because I campaigned for him. It's like, Drew, you want to come on the show and tell everybody how we like but it's like we can't. I ran against Drew Farmer, and they have spun it to where I ran with Drew Farmer. Insane. I ran
That
a
is not
primary with
reality.
3 people, me, Drew, and Bob. Bob Main was nowhere to be found, nor was he a Republican. No one was a registered Republican. Actually, I don't think any of us were registered anything. We were either independents or non-affiliated. And Bob was nowhere to be found. He didn't do any forums except for one at the Mill Casino. And I ran against Drew. Drew was my opponent. I could tell Drew was going to win. It is why I joined the race, because I knew Drew was going to win, and he needed an actual candidate to stand up to him. And I would have loved for it to have been anybody else but me. But at the end of the day, when you look around, nobody else is going to do it. So
Right.
I'm not the kind of person that just sits there and goes, oh, well, I guess that sucks. I guess
That's
we'll
just
just
a
lose.
wild accusation, though. Like as if
Yep.
you somehow orchestrated. And I can say, as a person who was a little bit in the middle of that, like I was definitely aware of what was going on.
Or just
that
ask Drew
is-
next time you talk to him. Did Chris help you at all?
Yeah,
No.
and I can tell you right now that Drew will tell you the truth.
Yeah.
He's a very upfront fellow. So that's completely invented in their own head.
Yep.
What do you
Also
do with
something,
that?
even if it was true, something I cannot reconcile. I cannot fix that.
Yeah, because they were
So
setting you up for
there's
failure.
no moving forward. They offered no sort of option to move forward. Meanwhile, I'm listing off all the things that I'm willing to do, or compromises that are on the table right now, or things that I think would be beneficial to everybody.
Yeah.
Having that meeting, literally one of them, that none of them want to meet, none of them want to talk. And I asked over and over and over, and finally was able to get a meeting with them. It's like that's a first step. So and if they're for some bizarre reason listening to this and they're like pissed and, oh my gosh, he's like talking about us. Well, first of all, I have not mentioned your names, and second of all, yes, I'm asking you to do better. Bring me something that I can work with.
Yeah, I'll be very clear. Like, I'm a snitch. I'll just say shit, and so if you don't want people talking about what you do, don't do it.
Yeah, or don't be involved in
I would
politics
never
or leadership.
expect someone to just like not talk about me and what I'm doing, whether or not they agree with it or not. Like, how dare you bring me up? Like, if you're in a sphere where you have influence over other people's livelihoods, people have a right, nay, an obligation to talk about you. And so, yeah, I don't think we should be talking about people as like personal, like criticizing people's personal lives, but your professional life is absolutely on the table for critique when you're going into the public sphere.
Yep.
And so, yeah, we're going to talk about this stuff. We're probably going to talk about it more. And so here's my philosophy, and I have taught this to children. People are going to talk about you your entire life. It is your job to give them something nice to say. That's
There
it.
you go. Well, I've certainly given people a lot of nasty things to say, but I've also given them some very nice things to say. And I would
Chris,
appreciate it if people started saying nice things.
I have never found you to be unreasonable. I have never found you to be unwilling to compromise and reach across the aisle and work with anyone. I guess maybe your strong opinions and boundaries and standing up for yourself maybe puts people off. But you're totally one of those people that even if someone didn't like you, if they reached out to you and said, I want to collaborate, like let's duke it out, metaphorically, you would show up to the table.
Every time. We
And
talked earlier
that's,
about the choking thing at the Republican Party.
yeah,
I talked with those people for 3 hours the other day. 3 hours. Took it out of my day. And there's
yeah,
no real reason for it other than I wanted to give them the opportunity to talk and say their side of
yeah,
things. And there
yeah.
wasn't any sort of like, I'm trying to get you and catch you in something to go tell on you or anything. And I haven't told
Right.
anybody about that conversation, but it was just like, yeah, to your point, like I'm always willing to talk to people and to figure things out and to rationally reason through things. But they don't want to because they know they don't have the higher ground. They don't have the facts. I mean, if all you can do is tell me that I hurt you by campaigning for Drew Farmer, which is a complete lie. If that's all you have, then you obviously have nothing.
They're
I mean, these are their
literally just
charging
inventing a
documents.
reason.
They're
Yeah.
Yep. This is why I need to be recalled, is because I helped Drew Farmer get elected. It's
It's
insane.
wild.
Yeah.
It's wild. I don't, it seems like there's so much personal stuff that gets brought up into this. And it's made me reflect a lot, like on my own professional relationships and how I work with people. I have to admit, I don't care if people don't like me. Like, the expectation is if we have a job to get done and I am an integral part of that job, I don't really care if you don't like me. I don't really care if I don't like you. We have to work together to produce the end product.
Right.
And I there's something going on, and maybe it's a cultural thing, New York versus Oregon type thing. Because I built my career kind of in New York with around that culture where people just don't care. I don't care what you think of me at all. And so all I care about is mission accomplished. And I think the faster people get that through their head, the better, maybe.
No, there's
I don't,
definitely an East Coast, West Coast divide. Like when I moved to
maybe,
the West Coast, it was very much, yeah, you can't, it's very different. Like, and right now I work with people on the East Coast remotely, and it's, oh gosh, it's so nice. I mean, we can
right?
call each other out and just say, we do not have to.
I
I can
know.
hop into a meeting and in the first minute just be like, this is what you need to do differently, this is why, get it done, moving on. Oh, by the way, how's your dog doing? Like,
Yeah.
that part
Just
comes
direct.
after. Right? We don't have to do that first to, like, my gosh, I
Yes.
worked at a company in San Francisco and they called it the feedback sandwich. You would give some really nice feedback with some not, some maybe negative feedback sandwiched with some more good feedback on the end. You give them a good feedback sandwich so they can swallow it better. And it's
You know what we
like,
called that in
are we
graduate school?
children? What?
Called it a shit sandwich. Because it is
We called
shit.
it,
No one likes it. It doesn't work. It's a stupid idea. And
right, you can see it.
listen, I have a graduate degree from Columbia University in literally social organizational psychology. My whole education has been in building businesses. Anyone who has a serious education hates that. It
Yeah,
is
I
such
hate it.
it. No one enjoys it. Like, no employee that's ever been delivered the sandwich method has left the meeting thinking that went well. It's a shit sandwich.
It is. Yep, it's crazy. No, I want the
Edu-
shit right out of the gate. Just tell me what it is and then we can move
yes.
on, and yeah, we don't need the small talk. So
Yes. Oh, I miss it. And anytime I work with a client on the East Coast, I'm always like, one of my first clients when I was up in Washington working in executive coaching, it was a gentleman who had moved, who was from the East Coast and moved over here to run the fish and wildlife program up in Washington. It was a fish habitat program. And it was so refreshing because he was like one of my first clients. And it was another New Yorker. I think it was from Boston. And so we were able to just be so candid and open and like, oh, like didn't have to walk on eggshells and dance around egos and stuff. Now I get all excited when I find
well, now
another
we have
East
to
Coast
assimilate
person.
here on the West Coast. So
I know.
we need to work on our sandwiches.
My goal, instead of feeding someone a shit sandwich, is to teach people to tamper that, to address those ego needs. You know, when something stings a little bit, why did it sting? You know, dig into that emotion and like pull it out, like
Well, it's like, did
deal
it
with it.
sting because you knew you weren't doing a good job to begin with, and you
Yeah.
haven't been able to put in the effort for maybe totally valid reasons. Maybe you have
Yeah.
a lot going on in your life. So,
Yeah.
say I'm criticizing you for your Republican Party involvement, and it just hasn't been a priority for you, and it's not something you're willing to invest a lot of time in. That's fine. But now that we can air that, are you comfortable with someone taking that responsibility from you so that you can spend the time on things that matter for you? And if they're willing to spend time on it, that's a win-win anyways. But here we are
Yep.
trying to be rational with people who are being completely irrational.
I'll never
So,
stop. Never
yeah.
stop.
Well, we
Well,
blew way past the hour mark.
we did good. This was great. Really great conversation.
We had Perry
Loving
on
it.
for a full hour.
I know.
Yeah.
That's impressive. I think you start to like it.
I liked having Rob on. We should see. I want to do more of that, like reporters in the field sort of thing. That would be fun.
Yeah. That would
That'd
be
be
cool.
really,
Have people pop in.
if we ever have, like, Rob was doing it last night. There was a person in Portland who was reporting, and it's like there was some shuffling and stuff going on. That was crazy. So if that ever happens, that would be cool to get somebody live on scene, ask them some questions, see what's going on. But
We might be, who do we know up there? I think I know a few people up there that might be into it.
well, luckily, I don't think anything's getting crazy right now. I think it's more like, oh, you threw water on me. Oh my God, how dare you? You know, yeah. So
It's so petty.
yep.
I miss when petty was like fun and unserious, but now people are like seriously petty, where it's just like
You just assaulted
exhausting.
me. I'm calling my lawyer, and they're going to be here in 5 minutes, and you're going to jail. Yeah, because you threw water on me. Oh my God. Yep. Yep.
It's assault. Yeah.
Anyways, well, we'll do it again next week.
I mean, I think we solved a few of the world's problems. We're on the right track.
At least a
though.
couple.
Yeah. Yep, we're on for next week.
Cool. Well, appreciate that you're running for office. Everybody, if they don't know, she's running for commissioner. So
Commissioner seat 2. Yep.
if you want to learn about her platform and what she's running on, reach out to her.
Brandi4Coos.com. Brandi with an I, FOR, Coos.com.
She'll need some help. We all do.
Yeah. I'm not going to really start campaigning until like January. I know I personally do not want to hear anything about politics. I want to enjoy my holidays. So I feel like everybody's probably in the same boat. And starting in January, that's 5 months. That is probably 4 months too many. So we'll start hitting stuff and putting up signs, and we'll have the forums that I believe start in January. So that'll be cool. And I'm trying to educate myself best I can to the local issues. And there's still a lot of stuff that I don't quite understand and that I'm trying to get my head around. So I am in the process of learning as much as I can possibly learn.
Very cool.
Yeah, man.
Sorry, I was like, is she going to keep going or not?
Nah, that's it.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys all next week. Appreciate you watching and commenting. We didn't really go through the comments today, but yeah, mostly us talking. Sorry.
Well, show up next week and we'll make a special point to go through all the comments and include everybody via comment.
There you go. There's a comment.
Thanks,
Go Brandi.
yeah.
Hi, Steve. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.